great job of reading with a lot of pressure with all the microphones and the media, so fantastic job. Good morning, and thank you all for this opportunity to talk about the recommendations for our education reform. A brief is available today which provides more detail, and the legislation itself will be available early in the 2012 legislative session. But today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline 10 pieces of the recommendation for education reform. Great teachers and leaders are at the heart of great schools, so we should be more selective about who can become an educator, which is a hallmark in high-performing school systems around the globe. Let's require a 3-point college grade point average for admission to Iowa's teacher preparation program. Let's also require candidates seeking a teacher's license to pass a test demonstrating solid, content-specific, and teaching knowledge so that we can assure from the very start that they have a strong baseline. Once in the classroom, all teachers should be evaluated annually instead of every 3 years, as is currently the case with experienced teachers. This will provide a more timely feedback on how to fine-tune instruction for the vast majority of teachers who range from effective to extraordinary. And it will more quickly identify the relatively few who are ineffective and need more intensive coaching and instruction. And principals and superintendents also should be evaluated every year. It's also time to make seniority or years of experience as a teacher a secondary factor in deciding who is laid off if the school district faces the unfortunate instance of having to reduce its workforce. Excellence as a teacher based on annual evaluations should be the main factor, and really this is in the best interest of our students and will best serve our students. We want to establish a state task force to make recommendations to the 2013 legislature on how to create teacher leadership roles and restructure teacher compensation. The goal is simple. It's to attract more talent into the teaching and to encourage them to stay in the teaching field. Let's not just say that we want teaching a highly respected profession. Let's do what we need to do and take bold action to do just that. Improving the core curriculum is critical. As the governor mentioned earlier, we plan to expand the Iowa core to include other essential areas, such as music and other fine arts, applied arts, character education, physical education, and entrepreneurial education, because it really is about educating the whole child. It's also important to have highly regarded assessments to tell us whether students are learning critical content and skills. We will, for example, have all 4-year-olds in the state voluntary preschool program take a kindergarten readiness assessment to determine early their literacy skills. This will help teachers identify what kind of assistance that children need. At the other end of the spectrum, our legislative proposal calls for high school students to pass end-of-course exams in math, English, science, and social studies to assure that they have a solid foundation to build upon before they graduate and start college or career training. Encouraging competency-based learning will focus on just that, learning, instead of seat time in the classroom. We want to remove the barriers to schools that wish to move in that direction. For example, if a student can pass an Algebra 1 test on the first day of the semester, he or she should be able to move on to more challenging courses. And this will also help to personalize education. And finally, school districts should have more flexibility along the same lines as charter schools. Our proposal would give the director of the Department of Education the authority to waive compliance with rule or statute for schools that want to use an innovative approach not currently allowed. The director then would be required to report to the legislature annually the number of waivers that have been granted. There are certainly many more pieces to our legislative package, so I would urge and encourage all of you to read the legislative brief that has been provided. And now it is my pleasure to bring to the podium Director Glass.